Relevant art exists to help change lives. The value of cultures and their arts are priceless. But the truth of the matter is that cultures all over the world are lost due to the devastating nature of poverty. Relevant art works hard to help people break free from poverty by partnering with artisans in disadvantaged minority communities. We direct opportunities toward these artisans and become a channel for sharing their unique creations with the rest of the world. Currently, Relevant Art is focusing on the needs of the No-Sui people of China. The No-Sui are a minority group of China with a population of roughly 2.9 million. They live high in the mountains of southwest China. Their heritage and culture is very different from that of mainstream Chinese society. They are predominantly agricultural people. The men shepherd sheep and goats while the women work in the fields growing corn, potatoes, and buckwheat. The No-Sui have lived relatively isolated lives for hundreds of years. But as the population increases and the land's fertility decreases, they are finding it harder and harder to sustain themselves. Today, they are one of the poorest and least developed groups in all of China. The majority of No-Sui counties are designated by the national government as impoverished, having an income of less than $125 per household per year. Typically, rural No-Sui children spend less than 5 years in school. Many girls never even get to go to school. A No-Sui doctor from Sichuan said, "If China is a third world nation, then the No-Sui must be the third world of the third world." Once isolated, poverty has forced men and women of all ages to leave their families in search of manual labor jobs in faraway Chinese cities. These jobs are usually the least safe and the lowest paid. Unfamiliar with life outside their mountains and unable to speak Chinese well, they are often taken advantage of. As the No-Sui try to cope with the changes being brought about by modernization, they are in need of new opportunities and new skills that will make it possible to improve their lives while keeping both their families and communities intact. Though poor in educational and economic resources, the No-Sui are rich in cultural heritage and potential human resources. By making use of what the No-Sui already have and what they do well, Relevant Art offers them a new choice to better their standard of living by sharing the beauty of their culture with the rest of the world. Relevant Art focuses on rural, illiterate minority women, those with the greatest need and the fewest opportunities. We work with them to break the vicious cycle of poverty by creating financial stability, providing a better education, and promoting cultural vitality. All of Relevant Art's profits go back to helping these women and their families in the form of direct wages, ongoing skills training, development of new products, packaging of products, administrative support, bonuses, and social benefits such as rural health care premiums for participants and their children. Working with us, artisans are guaranteed fair wages and a stable income. The money they earn is used to pay for food, medicine, and rent. Relevant Art understands and values the fact that education is the door to numerous opportunities. Caring about these women means helping them become properly equipped for whatever opportunities may lie ahead. The women of this project receive ongoing training to improve basic embroidery skills and to learn new trades. The women are also learning important life skills such as basic arithmetic, the national Chinese language, health and hygiene, buying, selling, and how to open and use a bank account. All of this helps them live better and expand their horizons. A key emphasis of Relevant Art is cultural vitality. Helping these women discover a better future for themselves and their families helps their culture to thrive as well. Through participation in Relevant Art, and with the help of others like themselves, these women gain a healthy sense of self-worth, dignity, and respect. They are growing in interdependence and gain lifetime friendships. They are more prepared to participate in their own communities both socially and economically. They are better prepared to engage the outside world. Their culture is uniquely made, and in a world that is constantly modernizing at a rapid rate, we want to not only keep the cultures alive, but help them to thrive. Your support makes this possible. Wei is the second oldest of 4 children. She grew up in a traditional home made of packed dirt with no running water. Her family lived too high to plant most crops, and so they lived mostly on buckwheat, potatoes, and turnips. Each year before the new harvest, they would be hungry for several months. When Wei was young, the school down in the valley was expensive. As a result, most village girls are completely illiterate and unable to speak the national language. So instead of going to school, she stayed home and helped in the fields and took care of her 2 younger siblings. Today, she is 22 years old, is married, and has 2 young children. With her husband's help and encouragement, Wei joined the Relevant Art Project. She was able to be trained in her own language near her home and was even able to bring her infant daughter with her. During her husband's long period of unemployment, Wei's earnings from Relevant Art were the family's sole income and were used for everything from taking grandmother to the hospital to paying for food for the children. Relevant Art is also able to cover health care premiums for the children. After completing training, Wei and her husband took responsibility for leading a co-op. Now, they are helping train more women in their area. For the other young women in the co-op, earnings from Relevant Art are also their sole income. Wei makes the hot pads, chopstick holders, tote bags, and aprons sold through Relevant Art. Other women in this co-op make drink coasters, bookmarks, and embroidered bags for buckwheat tea. We thank you for continued support for this program so that we can go out and love the world not just in words, but in physical, tangible ways so that they might know what true love really is. Ha sha sha.